Hello, Clashers, and welcome back to another episode of Gaming with Willie. Today I want to talk about a concept that is important for basically all 3-star strategies, and that is funneling your troops. Now, some people have trouble getting the funnels down, and funnels are important because they basically keep your troops moving in the right direction. And once you get the concept of funneling down, you'll have no trouble at all pulling it off on every attack. Now, when I say that funneling is important for every attack, I do mean that. It's important all the way from Town Hall 6 doing Giant Healer, up to the highest attacks at Town Hall 11, and everything in between. So, let's take a look at some examples here, and we'll talk about just how to get your funnel right. Now, if you're following me on Twitter, you saw that I posted this war, which I said was coming down to the wire, and it definitely did do that. Unfortunately, we ended up losing this one by about 1.5%. Now on this attack, I'm using Valkyries, and when you do Valkyries, you want to do a bit of a wide funnel, because you don't want your Valkyries to go around the base, which I actually see happen quite often. So what you're going to do after you drop your golems is put down the wizards so that they take out a lot of these buildings over here. Now you don't necessarily need to get the buildings in the middle, because that's the direction you want your Valkyries to take. And what I'm going to try and do with this one is get not only some of these outside buildings, but also some of these buildings here, because I want to try and get them going in towards the core. Now there is a lava hound in the clan castle, that's why you don't see an attempt to draw out the clan castle. There go the wizards. You can see they're working on that gold storage and that cannon over here, and the Valkyries are all going to go straight inside. Not only that, but they're also going to go straight to this queen as well. So everything went pretty much as planned there. The jump spell was a bit off. I should have dropped it right on the clan castle, but I was afraid they weren't going to get through that wall on time. Now the Valkyries are making their way through, and I start sending in the hogs, and they're going to get this core hollowed out, and they're also going to get rid of that Tesla farm, which can be quite dangerous to the hog riders. And they're doing that under the heel, so they're essentially not losing any health. I did have some Valkyries take this route through here, which obviously has spring traps on all the edges, on the corners, I mean, right here. That Valkyrie's not going to go that way. I've got a bowler working around the outside on this side. Golem over here is taking out this cannon, and the king's just about to go down. The queen pops her ability, and this one golem left over here triggers a spring trap, and he's going to tank for the queen. And this Expo is the last defense standing. And if it weren't for that golem, this raid would be over now. But she's going to keep on working as the golem goes through and does what little he can on offense. Just barely misses those giant bombs. And this raid actually came down to the last few seconds. I really wasn't sure at this point if I was going to get the 2 or 3 star. I was actually quite convinced that it was going to be a high percentage 2-star. But, as you'll see here in a second, spoiler alert, I managed to pull off the 3. Now on bases like this is where I see funnel fails happen most frequently, because the buildings are so spread out, and it can be a little tricky getting everything to go straight into the core where you want it. I'm going to take care of this clan castle dragon here, and then I drop my golems a little bit off center like that, because I know at least one's going to go to that cannon there. And I've got 3 wizards here, And I drop all of the rest of the wizards here because I know they need to take care of that king in addition to those buildings. So the king's down. I've got these buildings down here. And notice when I had the Valkyries drop down that I still had some of these buildings up around this P.E.K.K.A statue. And that's exactly what you want, because the Valkyries are going to follow the buildings into the jump spell. And then from the jump spell, they're either going to go around or they're going to go into the core. And since the wizard tower was the closest building, they're going to go into the core. Drop a couple of heal spells here and keep all the Valkyries up. And they'll hollow out everything on the inside. The bowler is doing some damage down here. It's getting taken out by the cannon. And I've got hog riders coming in to take care of some of these cannons up here. These ones all got killed. But these hog riders will come back around and take care of those cannons. Both of the golems are up. The queen's down here doing what she can at level 2. The king and some more Valkyries are up here, and at this point there's just one cannon left, so it's really just a matter of cleanup. Now just one building left. Or two. Now wrap up a easy 3-star. Here we have an example of a dragon funnel. And Buckeye Girl starts out up here and on this dark elixir down here. Now I might have started on this gold mine just to make sure it went down before these dragons followed behind it. But this one ended up working out. Now you can see, for the most part, the dragons are headed into the core. Rage spell down to help take care of that Clan Castle dragon. I might have dropped those balloons into the rage spell as well. Now as you can see, the dragons are working their way through, and for the most part, with the exception of just the one dragon that started the funnel, they're all staying on the inside of the base. And that's what you want. If they're going down the edges along these buildings on the outside, they're going to be taking fire from archer towers and potentially air defenses that don't get taken out. And because the dragons move through the core so quickly, she wraps up an easy 3-star. Now here's the dragon attack that I did. If you're doing dragon attacks, always check the corners first. Because if there's something in the corners, you either want to start your funnel there, or you want to drop your dragons there as you're deploying your dragons, depending on how you're doing your funnel. So, for example, I'm coming along this side here where all the army camps are. So I'm going to drop one dragon on each corner, and I know they're going to go either to this building or this building on each side to create the funnel. Now, let's say I weren't going in on the side, now we're going in on this corner here. Then I would drop one dragon right about here, and either one dragon or the king right around here. Actually, maybe right in this area, just because there's a big group of buildings right there. Then I would drop the third dragon on this corner building, and then the rest of the dragons on all these buildings. Because as these dragons move into the base, the dragon that I dropped on this building here is going to follow those dragons into the core of the base. Now, I probably would not use my king over here, since there are corner buildings. It would be better off to use the king in one of the far corners. Now, let's see how this one works out for me. I'm going in on this side. I also like to drop my spells while the dragons are creating the funnel. That way I'm not wasting too much time just watching the dragons take down buildings. And with slow troops, you want to be as efficient as you can with your time. Now everything's moving in. I am going head on to the air sweeper. But since it looks like it's a level 2 air sweeper, it won't be too much of a problem. Those balloons will take down that air defense, and I just got one left. And a big group of dragons about to move in on it. There they go. Of course, I'll get pushed back one more time. And the rest is history. Actually, considering the fact that I still had 2 more corner buildings, this raid ended up going pretty quickly. Just over a minute, I believe. Maybe like a minute and a half. Dragons are going to finish moving through. And since I started out on these corners back here, they only have 2 corners to take care of. If I had all 4 corners, I might be in a bit of trouble. Funnels can be used in farming too, depending on what farming strategy you're using. Now, if you're just doing giants, barbarians, and archers, and going after the collectors on dead bases, then funneling's not going to matter at all. But for most other tactics where you're going after storages on the inside of the base, funneling is going to become more important. So let's go ahead and show an example of funneling on a farming raid. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go for this base here. I think I'm going to come in from the top. As you can see, he's got a lot of his storages right up here. Easy access. And he's got pretty decent loot. So since I'm coming in on the top corner, I want to bring these buildings down. Looks like those troops will go mostly untouched. I might trigger the king with these ones. Hopefully not. It is in range of the expo, which really shouldn't be a problem. Or maybe not. I thought the expo was firing. Alright, so we got the funnel started. Now, as I mentioned before, you want to leave buildings in the middle. Just get the buildings on the edges. And I can't point like I was able to earlier. So we're going to drop these troops here. And get a heal spell down. Follow up with some wizards. The king and queen in there. And once we start getting close to those storages, we'll drop a rage. See, my funnel failed on these wizards over here. We got the heroes and giants in, though. That's all that really matters. Let's go ahead and get a rage down. That queen is not cooperating either. But I'm getting the dark elixir, and I will most likely get the town hall. Getting some of that gold too. Why is she shooting the wall? Come on, queen. I'm not sure why these archers are shooting the walls either. They're taking after the archer queen, I guess. And get the king in there and get some more of that gold. We got the 2-star. We got a lot of the loot. I'm happy with that. The only thing I probably should have done differently is tried to take down these buildings inside these little walls here. That way the wizards went into the core with everything else. That would have made a big difference. As you can see, they trailed down the right side of this base here. I am not going to drop my clan castle. I am happy with that. That's an okay raid. That's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you have any questions about funneling or want to see some more examples, maybe some examples for different army compositions that I didn't show in this video, just let me know down in the comments below. If this video helps you, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more Clash content from me, be sure to click that subscribe button. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.